There are many ways to start talking about Kundalini. It can be, one can be intellectual, like explaining what Kundalini is all about and what it could mean. The other one is highly spiritual. Another is completely physiological, because Kundalini is in so many ways a physiological matter and not really so abstract, and that I think makes it a very powerful element. But I'm not going to talk about any of these. I'm going to talk about it in the emotional way. I'm going to talk about it as a love affair. Because this is how I experience it. This is how I met it. And this is what made it so easy for me to connect to it. All the intellectual explanation came afterwards. Then I thought, okay, let's learn about it. And then I learned, and then I started to understand. Of course, the learning was also helpful. Learning is helpful, and we will learn this weekend. But the starting point is that I choose to use this morning is, for many reasons, emotional. And I'm going to use a little mythology, because I think that sometimes to hear about something through stories is much easier for our human mind. We like stories, right? Everyone likes stories. As soon as we hear a story, we immediately feel that we can understand something through an actual drama rather than concepts. So my story is a story of a love affair that takes place in us, and that we call it Kundalini for for a certain reason. But we could also drop that term completely. And the story of this love affair is between two lovers. One is called Shiva, and the other one is called Shakti. And we sometimes tend to, because we all have this longing for this love affair to succeed, we sometimes get confused and we think that Shiva and Shakti, they are two halves in the manifest reality. But Shiva and Shakti are definitely not romantic partners in that sense, as me being one half and somebody else in the manifest reality being the other half. But actually, our reality of Shiva and Shakti, our external reality, is just an echo, a resonance, a reflection, or an expression of this one love affair that takes place inside you, inside your being. And that this is the real love affair that we are all hoping to fulfill. And because why? How do I know? Because as soon as we fulfill it, we forget all about the other Shiva and Shakti, you see? We don't care anymore. Sometimes we we become celibate, and sometimes we just don't care, and if it happens, it happens. Which is, in a way, the same. So, Shiva and Shakti. At the beginning, it all started as only Shiva. Shiva, when I say Shiva, I don't mean the ancient yogi, I'm talking about the divine aspect. And it all started as one that decided to play with itself, this love affair. In order to experience more consciousness, more to be able to get to know itself, it split itself into two. And then we got Shiva and Shakti. Shiva is what we call in our can say in the professional language, we call cosmic Kundalini. Cosmic Kundalini is the active intelligent force that encompasses the entire universe, and it is by nature unified and whole. It's everywhere, it's here right now, and it's also always in contact, forever in contact with our what is called our crown chakra, the center of the top of our head, where there is a sort of an energetic opening. And this type of Kundalini always somewhat, to a certain degree, flows into our body, sustaining it, animating it. But then Shiva said, let's make ourselves into two, because there will be conscious human beings, conscious forms, and to allow this love affair to happen, there have to be two. And then Shiva put at the lower base of our spine, most accurately at the area of the perineum, a seed. And this seed contains exactly the same energy that we call cosmic Kundalini, the Kundalini that is everywhere. And this seed is full of cosmic energy. And even one seed of cosmic energy is a lot, right? It's think of it. It's a seed that contains the intelligence, the wisdom, the power, the creativity of the Creator itself. So this was planted and remained mostly dormant. Some of this, the energy of the seed, also constantly flows upwards, just like cosmic Kundalini descends through the crown chakra. What we call individual Kundalini ascends constantly, but very little. And even little of it is enough for us to think, to have emotions, to act. Sometimes when we have more greater aspirations of creativity, like let's say higher art or higher wisdom, then we draw more of it. But the seed, the secret of the seed, the secret of this encapsulated Shiva in us, this remains mostly unknown. And this seed is what we call Shakti. And by nature, this Shakti is a feminine energy. When we say a feminine energy, don't get confused with gender talk. Feminine means receptive, longing, and rising energy. That energy that wishes to unite, the energy that wishes to be absorbed. In that sense, when we experience ourselves as spiritual aspirants, we are all feminine. Do you understand? There is a known statement, to God we're all women. And in that, energetically speaking, this is our reality. So, Shakti usually remains dormant. But when we begin to feel this, the spiritual longing, Shakti begins to awaken too. And if our longing is pure, then it can awaken even more, because Shakti is by nature longing. And this is very important to understand. That's why we cannot approach the issue of Kundalini through ambition, through I want to become enlightened, I want to achieve superpowers. With these superpowers and ambition, you can reach so much. At a certain point, you will get stuck, because the only law that Shakti and Shiva obey is the law of love. It's a matter of heart, and interestingly, the heart is exactly the middle between this potential union, exactly in the middle, between the perineum and the crown chakra. It bridges, it connects, and it's the only energy that could actually enable eventually the individual Kundalini to rise all the way up. In terms of our, what we call our chakra system, which we are going to talk about perhaps tomorrow, if we approach this story of love affair through ambition, we eventually get stuck in the solar plexus. And many people get stuck in the solar plexus. The Kundalini rises all the way, happily, and then that's it. And something seems to be missing. And this thing that is missing is love. Is the realization that we are here on the spiritual journey to enable this love affair to be fulfilled. We allow it to happen. We give space to it. Through when we meditate, when we practice. And the amazing thing is that when we are tuned into this love affair through love, the whole journey becomes shockingly effortless and light, and because we understand the right language, we understand what is really happening.